Yeah, we designated spitters live every week. Live, designated homie, cause we spit heat. We designated spitters, Francis and Pete. Yes, talking Yankee baseball, hip-hop for the streets. Yup, we designated, yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated spitters, time that you know. Yup, we designated, yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated spitters, let's start the show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the one, the only Designated Spittaz. You guys know who I am. Ryan, what the hell are you doing here? Where the hell's Francis at? What?
I thought I was doing John Boy's show. I'm so confused right now. I was going to do it.
So you're confused. Wait a second. You're confused that I'm here, and I'm confused that you're here.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
Holy shit. Is this the No Offense podcast? What happened?
For one night only, it is the No Offense.
This is like one of those great reunions.
It is.
Are we in our prime or are we out of our prime, though? That's the thing.
Oh, no. We're like Harvey Korman and Tim Conway limping out for a Carol Burnett reunion.
Is this like the recent Motley Crue reunion that was really horribly bad?
Yes. Someone called him Vince Meals.
Vince Meals.
Put on weight.
Oh, man. We're having some good times as Yankee fans. What a roller coaster season. You know, one thing I definitely want to talk about because the fans haven't had a chance to hear from you a lot recently when it comes to what our Yankees are doing. But me and you, early in the year, right, we had some strong opinions about what this team has the potential of doing. I'll come out and say, I don't think they've lived up to it. I don't think they lived up to where we thought they would be.
The only concern I had at the beginning of the year was the starting pitching because I didn't know what to expect from Kluber and Taillon and Montgomery. And it turns out our offense just stinks. Yeah. And every time we get somebody from AAA who starts producing offensively, our hero Brian Cashman is like, what are these runs? That was a stolen base. Get him out of here. They've done it so much this year. Ground out to second, young man.
Right. Either you hit a home or you strike out or you ground out into a double play. If you don't do that, you're off the team, baby. That's it. We don't want you here.
I've actually been working on an impression. This is Brian Cashman in his owner's box watching the Yankee game. Well, that'll bring up Brett Gardner hitting second for some reason. Yeah, that's right. Get our worst player the second most at bats. All right, it's baseball. Swung on and a ground ball to second. Yeah! He's not going to be tired from running the bases. He's just going to go right back into the dugout and be ready for defense. That's Yankee baseball.
Oh, man. You know, it's funny because we joke about stuff like that. And me and Francis, we talked about this the last podcast, I think we spoke about this, is how the hell is it that fans know all this shit, but these guys seem not to? They pay no mind. It's like Aaron Boone using Aaron Heaney or Andrew Heaney in close games, and we're all ripping our hair out, and Aaron Boone's like, oh, no, we're going to give him more chances. Are you mad?
You can call him Aaron Heaney, by the way. He hasn't earned.
That's what I call him. Yeah.
He hasn't earned you knowing his first name.
Right. I always go Aaron Heaney because I'm like, you know, at this point, you and Boone are like the same person, in my opinion. You're destroying the season together, so.
The only logical explanation that you can come to is that they're making bad decisions based on, well, we traded for Heaney, so we have to justify that trade. Oh, we signed Brett Gardner. We have to play him every day. Send Florial and Greg Allen back down so we can play Gardner every day. Oh, we traded for Joey Gallo. We have to keep playing him. Luke Voigt dared question the Yankees Illuminati, so he's going to be on the bench.
That pisses me off so bad. I definitely want to. Matter of fact, we could even jump right into that. But one thing I want to mention real quick is, again, not to toot my own horn, but a lot of people question the stuff that I report. A couple of days ago on September 9th, Ian O'Connor, who is obviously verified, put this news out that I've told you guys a while ago. After the Yankees acquired Heaney, Angel coaches told a prominent baseball figure that he was not wired to deal with New York pressure. So he says, what an understatement. So that's a report from him. I said this actually on the Deadline show when we got him, that I actually had a text message from Mr. Reliable, who actually said he spoke to an Angels coach for 20 years, a coach in the organization for 20 years. And they said the only thing that concerns about Andrew Heaney is how he would handle the pressure of New York, and they don't believe he will be able to at all. And I don't know if it's just that he can't handle the pressure or the guy is just a trash can. I mean, I don't know which one it is.
He couldn't handle the pressure of Anaheim. He had an
Right.
ERA of almost 6.
So
You can hear the friggin' It's a Small World song from the pitcher's mound. There's no pressure out there.
that's Andrew Heaney. I mean, but he's getting all the chances. He's still getting chances with the Yankees. They haven't given up on that. They're giving him as many chances as he needs, or more than he needs. I don't even know how to explain it anymore to make it make sense. It doesn't make logical sense anywhere you see it. A guy like Heaney's getting shots. A guy like Luke Voit, who last year led the team in homers, was their MVP last year.
Led the league in home runs.
Led the league in home runs, exactly. Speaks up for the club, makes logical sense when a team sucks. And they're like, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. Now you're sitting. We were told before, if you remember Boone, he's going to get a lot of playing time. The guy gets hot. He's starting to look like Luke Voit again. He's hitting homers. He's playing great in the Oakland series and all that. And then he sits. Then he's just gone. He vanishes.
The week he was the AL Player of the Week, the first 2 games of the following week
They
he
sat
did
him.
not play.
Yeah, and then he gets colder. I don't get it. And I've said this all year. This is a team that swears they're up by like 10 games in the division all year. That's the way they've coached. I've been saying this since May. That the way Aaron Boone manages is a team that just feels like we're in the playoffs. We know we're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to win these games against the Orioles. We don't got to try. And then the Orioles come out. They're going to lose 100-plus games, and they beat us 2 of 3.
Okay, so I just want to explain to you. Luke Voit is not playing because the Yankees are worried that Giancarlo Stanton might get injured if he plays the outfield. This hand is going to be Giancarlo Stanton. This hand is going to be the Yankees Illuminati. We do not want Giancarlo Stanton to play the outfield because he might injure himself. I literally hit better when I play defense. We do not want you to hit better. We want you to not get injured. And Brett Gardner, the stats say he should play every day, even though his batting average at the time was about 188, and Greg Allen and Esteban Florial were creating all of our runs. They will go to AAA to learn the lesson. And scene.
They need more seasoning. They weren't cooked enough. They needed a little more salt, a little more pepper on there. And the Yankees, Brett Gardner's the old sourpuss that's in the and it's funny too because I'm not even. I've kind of gotten on some people when they're attack Brett Gardner. People act like Brett Gardner is putting himself in the lineup and it's supposed to just be like, yeah, let me take myself out. The guy has actually played way more than he ever expected. The Yankees never brought him in to be a starter. That was never the expectation. The roster construction was just so bad that it's now allowed that. And then, like you said, when the Yankees, I remember when Michael Kay made the moronic comments of Boonie Ball is now being played, which is, to me, I think, one of the worst comments made all year by any sports announcer. People talk about when, I keep bringing it up because I love it so much. I got to get your opinion on this, by the way. You'll comment really quick because I know you heard it. Who said it again? The Ohtani thing.
Stephen A?
No, not that one. The announcing one. He was calling the game. The great player. What the hell's his name again?
I can't think of it either.
Anyway, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Man, I can't believe I forgot his name. I keep wanting to say Rick Sutcliffe, but it wasn't Rick Sutcliffe. When he said, you got to be very, very careful with him. That was hilarious.
I wasn't watching. I think it went something like this. Hey, that'll bring up Shohei Ohtani. Hey, fella, I do a really good impression of Shohei Ohtani. Ting, ting, tong, ting, ting. I don't remember. I think that was it, though.
The funny thing is, it actually was nowhere near that bad. It wasn't that bad. I can understand that being bad. It wasn't anywhere near that bad. But it's just odd to me that, you get a guy like Michael Kay saying, oh, they're playing boonie ball now. Well, I remember I did a breakdown video of that. Not a breakdown video, but I did a video talking about Michael Kay's comments and then breaking down how it makes no sense. The Yankees had guys all year that could bunt. They had guys all year that could do it. People go, oh, they didn't get on base enough. Actually, they led the league in on base percentage. They had the most walks in the American League. They get on base. They never decided to move runners over. They never decided to steal. They never decided to play hit and run. All of a sudden, people go, oh, well, it's because Greg Allen's up. Are you freaking kidding me? No. It had nothing to do with Greg Allen being up. They just know the tools these guys possess. And all of a sudden, those guys were pushing the button. They were taking extra bases. They were going first to third. They were making that happen. They were capable of stealing bases. Estevan Florial comes up and hits 300. And you got your Boone apologist who will sit there and argue with you and go, well, he's hitting 210 in AAA. What did he do in the majors? He was hitting 300. So who gives a shit what he did in AAA? But Estevan Florial got no shot after doing that well. I think his last game I think was one when he doubled in the gap, I think, against the Red Sox. And then everybody was like, oh, he's playing tomorrow because he's getting so hot. He's doing so well. And then he never played again.
Yeah.
And then Greg Allen, kind of the same thing. They just sent him down and these guys just disappeared into the mist somewhere. But this has been something the Yankees have done all year long. And now they do it with your good friend, Andrew Velazquez.
Yeah, they did it. Here comes another impression of Cashman's press box. All right, here we go. Ground ball to short, Torres, and he boots it. Yeah! More runners for the other team. More runners for the other team.
It feels that way. It feels that way. It feels that way. It really does. It's pathetic. And, I saw a stat somewhere, and I'm trying to find it because I want to make sure it's accurate or not, but I won't even say numbers. I'll just say it like this. Over, I think, their last 14 games or something like that playing together, the Yankees have a much stronger winning record with Andrew Velazquez and Wade in the infield on the left side than with Gio Urshela and Gleyber Torres on the left side of the infield.
I mean, really, that's Gleyber's fault. Let's be real.
Mainly. But Gio hasn't looked too good recently either.
Gio hasn't been hitting.
So we don't know if the injuries, the glove hasn't looked too great either.
Well, what has been our biggest issue that has resulted in Andrew Heaney is our bullpen being out of gas.
Oh, 100%. But who couldn't call? I was calling that early in the year. It's obvious.
What makes our bullpen out of gas is having to get a bunch of extra outs because our infield boots routine ground balls.
Yeah, that, and then remember at the beginning of the year, starters couldn't go past the fourth?
Yeah.
I mean, we had the most innings in the majors by a long shot early in the year. I mean, and these guys are going to gas out. I mean, John Loaiza got an injury, sucks, but, I mean, you look at all these guys. Like, people said, well, even Green got off to a great start again. He was pitching great, and these guys gas out. Lucas Lucky, I don't know how the guy has an arm anymore. I mean, I feel like he's in almost every game.
Lucas Lidke feels like a throwback to Joe Torre, where it's just like,
very much.
Oh, he's pitching again today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys like the starter will get injured in the second inning, and okay, we go to Lucky.
Yep,
let Lucky get in there. But
coming in for his 87th appearance of the year here in June.
I told everybody, I said, man, I could probably sit here and talk about Aaron Boone's mismanagement so much, and you actually mentioned something to me that I don't think you believed before, is I think you're at the point personally where you're kind of tired of him and Cashman.
I'm more tired of Cashman. I feel like Aaron Boone comes out for a press conference and it's just the intro to the bye video.
He's just a big puppet.
We must win tomorrow. We come back from this sort of thing.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. And I made it. I'm sure you probably maybe seen the videos of my Aaron Boone rants and things like that. But the thing that bothers me more than anything, we talked to Ozzie Guillen Jr. about this, and we basically mentioned to him, just to sum it up again, was that's basically managers today. Like he said, that's what they want. They want the managers of today to be guys that listen to everybody else, and that's kind of the way they make their decisions. Guys like Ozzie Guillen and people like that wouldn't be able to be in baseball today because they wouldn't allow that. That's not the way they would go about managing their teams. And he made a good point too. He said, for a guy like Aaron Boone, who's taken his beating now in New York, and he believes that Aaron Boone is a smart baseball guy, obviously comes from a long line of baseball family. He mentioned something good. He said, if Aaron Boone's going to go out at some point, you have to step up to your GM and whoever's making these decisions and say, okay, it's time for me to take over now. I got to be able to make these decisions. I got to be able to, I know my team. I know who's doing well, who's doing this. I can't imagine that anyone in the analytics department is saying to bring in Andrew Heaney in a close game or Romano or Krisky in close games. I have to almost say I feel like that's Aaron Boone because there's no numbers that support those moves. It's impossible.
Mr. Cashman, I just want to have a quick word. You know how Greg Allen, Estevan Florial, Andrew Velasquez, and Luis Heel came up and played really well? Can they still be on the team? I was just wondering. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I was just wondering if all these good players you keep bringing up, if you could not send them back down and make me pitch Andrew Heaney and play Brett Gardner and make Rugi Odor play third base, even though he's literally never played third base before. Or maybe you could go massage DJ's arm so he could play third base and Rugi could play second. No? Okay. Goodbye, Mr. Cashman.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I could never do that. How could anybody do that? I don't understand it. You're getting a beatdown from people like me and everybody else who can't stand you anymore. Like, we're begging that you're gone. I told people, don't be shocked if he comes back another year. Don't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked one bit at all if he has the last year with Cashman.
I wouldn't be shocked either, just because if you stink next year, you're both gone.
Exactly. Because you also got to remember, it's almost like if you were Steinbrenner and you own this club, and you know Cashman, unless you get rid of him too, but you know Cashman got one more year left. You still almost leave that up to him at that point to go, you know what? You got 1 year. This is it. This is the last time you're having any sort of say of what your team is, so you got to prove it now. I could see that saying, okay, well then we bring the guy back on a 1 year deal.
You also don't want to fire Cashman after next year and he hired your manager for 2022.
Exactly.
And then you bring a GM who immediately fires that manager.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the concern for me when it comes to it, because I don't see Steinbrenner getting rid of Cashman. I don't see that happening. I don't. I don't see that happening any way at all. I do not see Steinbrenner getting rid of Cashman. I think there's an easy way out, and there's been rumors already that Cashman may actually retire after next year. So if that ends up being the case, either way, I could see them saying, well, Cashman's decided to part ways. He's decided to move on from this organization, or, look at another venture or somewhere else in the organization, an advisor or whatever it might be. I could see that. Yeah. He's going to be Ellsbury's personal masseuse moving forward. He massages him with his head. He doesn't use his hands. It's unbelievable. He uses essential oils on his head. He's unbelievable with it. Starting his own business right outside of Yankee Stadium.
But that lady with the goiter from Seinfeld.
Yes, exactly. But when it comes to Andrew Velasquez, I mean, obviously a good story, played well. I don't want to gas this guy up like he was the next great shortstop of the Yankees, but they played well with him. And it's funny to hear Aaron Judge say he's one of the guys who spoke up yesterday, and now he's in the minor leagues again. He just got booted out of the room. They're like, what are you doing? Sit down. Who the hell are you to talk? Get out of here. Cashman got very upset when he heard that.
You will not tell us who gets to play and who does not get to play.
Are the Yankees not like the Nazi party?
Pay you until the end of next season, so we have to pay you $37 million a year instead of signing you in advance.
Are we seeing the birth of the communist Yankees?
Yeah.
Is this what this is? This is what this is?
Exactly what this is.
We have a guest on today.
We have just signed Brett Gardner. It's turning into Mad Dog. We have just signed Brett Gardner. to a 47-year extension.
to play center field.
We've asked if he can bat more than once in the lineup. He'll be batting first, fifth, and eighth.
My God. My goodness. Well, moving on. Let's talk about yesterday's ball game, Yankees versus the Mets. Of course, it was 9-11. The Mets did a wonderful job on the field early in that game, recognizing and remembering 9/11 20 years ago to yesterday, actually, of course. But the Yankees and the Mets, somebody mentioned this, Ryan. I don't know if you agree with this or not. Should the Yankees and Mets play every 9/11?
I could see that being a good idea, especially because it was on Fox.
Yeah.
Yankees Mets is usually not a nationally televised game, believe it or not.
Right.
Nobody outside of New York cares because the Mets are usually garbage.
Right.
So the idea of having that as an annual thing, it's like the Field of Dreams, where like no one cares about Yankees White Sox unless you're a fan of one of the teams.
Right.
But if you have it's the Field of Dreams game, now more people are like, because I live in Tennessee, no one cares about the Yankees, but they will watch the Field of Dreams game.
Right.
And they would watch Yankees Mets on September 11th.
I think that makes sense too. When I saw that, I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And then you see right there, Bobby Valentine and Joe Torre threw out the first pitch. So that obviously it goes back to the 2000 World Series. They were both the managers when the Yankees defeated the Mets in the World Series. But again, the Yankees came out strong yesterday against Walker. They scored a few runs, and then once again, same thing happened that we almost feel like we saw all year, that the Yankees just give it away.
Well, it was Kluber or Montgomery yesterday?
Kluber. Yesterday was Kluber.
What do you go, 3 innings?
4, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Not much better.
If your bullpen can't give you length, and they've played 1 billion games in a row, that's the other thing, is when we were hot, we were getting days off. Now we've sort of gotten exposed playing 19 games in a row, because every time we won, we were still blowing games. We just win it in the 9th inning.
Right.
Like in that winning streak, we were still having leads, and we'd be up 6-0, and then it's all of a sudden 6-5.
Yep. There was still a lot of close games. A lot of close games being won.
Yeah. I think playing all those games in a row, 1, exposed that, and then 2, the less your starters can go into the game, the worse relievers you're going to see. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that we keep blowing leads, because all of a sudden Sal Romano's in the game.
Oh my God. And you don't win that way. So anyway, spoiler alert, you guys know what happened. The Yankees ended up winning this ball game, coming back to win, and a great big game again from Aaron Judge, who really is having an MVP season. Not a lot of people are necessarily talking about it because, of course, you got Ohtani, you got Vlad Guerrero Jr. is doing what he's doing. But Aaron Judge undoubtedly has been the MVP of the Yankees, and it's really not even close. He has been the best player on this team. You talk about a guy who is hitting over 290, 32 homers. I think he's closing in on 70 something. I think he has like 72 RBIs now off the top of my head. But is just having a terrific year, is really stepping up more. You saw his comments the other day. He mentioned the other day too, or mentioned yesterday, I think it was, where he said, I'm from California, but my heart and soul is in New York. And that's something I mentioned a lot because my assumption is if the Yankees don't sign him soon, you may see a team like the Angels and the Giants really throw some money at this guy. I mean, a lot of money at this guy. So hearing him say that, I think kind of not necessarily gives the Yankees leverage, but, lets fans know that, I want to be here. This is the only organization I want to play for. And Judge is just proving it time and time again as you see your best friend Brett Gardner go deep to right center field here for a 2-run home run. But
he's been better, by the way, to be clear.
He's been good. And that's what I've said.
When we send down Allen and Florial, he was hitting like 182.
He's hitting 212 now, 215?
Yeah.
Nothing special. And here's the thing that I mentioned before. Aaron Judge right there. That's the first homer he hit in the game, an absolute bomb. But the thing I mentioned is about Gardner. A lot of people, get mad at him and this and that, and I understand. I get where the frustration is, and I'm not sticking up for him. But his recent play has not been bad. If you really want to be honest, he has very good at-bats still. He doesn't give at-bats away. You don't see him usually swing at the first pitch and ground at the second. He's usually having a 3-2 at bat, fighting pitches off, maybe 7, 8, 9 pitches to get him out. Or he's been hitting recently. So you can't really knock him on that. Matter of fact, while we're discussing that, let me see what he's been over his last couple of games. I guarantee you his numbers are much better than what they were earlier in the year. Let's see. Brett Gardner, 38 years old. My goodness. He'll be back next year.
Of course.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, over his last 30 overall, 87 at-bats, he's hitting .287 with 4 homers. His last 7 games, he's hitting .320, 25 at-bats. So, knocking Brett Gardner and all this and that, I get it, I understand it, and I understand the animosity behind it because of the other guys we have, but he hasn't been a major issue for him. He hasn't been one of the major issues.
Well, I've been DMing. I was DMing you back when Allen and Florial were creating wins.
Right.
Saying it's time to drop DJ LeMahieu in the order and let these guys hit 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Now,
I remember.
They have shown they are willing to occasionally drop DJ LeMahieu in the order, which is good news. The infuriating part is when they're dropping him for Brett Gardner.
Right.
Why?
Right.
I understand he's hot lately. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But when Allen and Florial were tearing it up, you're just like, no, DJ LeMahieu's our leadoff hitter, and now they're gone. I'm not getting over this. This has been the bane of my summer.
Basically. I know it has. You've been very upset about this.
Hang on, I just said something pop up on me. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so we get rid of Allen Florial, and I'm glad that we didn't do the show last night and we're able to do it today.
Yeah.
Because I was able to see that Velasquez got the same treatment of, oh, you're playing really well. Goodbye. Congratulations. Thank you. Now we're gonna play somebody not as good as you.
It's
it
infuriating. It's infuriating. It really is. As there goes Aaron Judge's tie game home run in the top of the 8th. Yesterday's ball game. It's been infuriating. I'm right there with you. I really am. I mean, look, there's no denying, in my opinion, this Yankee record should be a lot better. I don't know if you follow Eli Fishman on Twitter, but Eli is basically the Yankee guru for the minor leagues. We interviewed him. He knows everything about the Yankee minor leagues. In AAA, the Yankees have about 4 or 5 pitchers, including Luis Heel and Clark Schmidt, so maybe about 6 guys. I think it's about 6 overall, that have under 3 ERAs. One of those guys being Adam Warren, who we know so well, who the Yankees know so well. He's pitching under a 3 ERA, and a reporter asked Aaron Boone about it. Aaron Boone's response is he hasn't come up in a pecking order yet. So I'm a little confused by that, Ryan. I don't know if you would be too. What does the pecking order look like for the Yankees?
The pecking order is we signed Adam Warren to a minor league deal, so we're going to keep him down there even if it makes absolutely no sense. And we traded for Andrew Heaney at the trade deadline because our nerds told us that if he throws up here instead of down here, he'll become Randy Johnson. And what do you know? It's not true. He still sucks. But we're going to keep trying and ruin Yankee fans' summer.
Right. Or do a move that everybody knows shouldn't be happening. Every fan in the world knows this. So the same thing, I guess, with a guy like Krisky, they're basically saying, well, Krisky's already on the 40-man. We don't want to go through the process of DFAing somebody, calling somebody up, which costs some money out of our pocket to do that, to add somebody new to the 40-man. We don't want to go through all of that. That's a little too much. So we'll call up the guy Krisky, who I think, there was a stat recently. I think he's allowed the most homers or the most runs in 13 innings of all time.
Do you remember the Boston game in Boston?
Are you talking about Chase Wright?
Yeah, where he came in with a 1-run lead in the 10th. Obviously, runner starts on second. And they tied the game and got the winning run on third without putting the ball in play.
Yeah.
Wild pitch, walk, wild pitch,
yeah.
wild pitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was an infuriating game. Absolutely. He gave it away. And that's my problem. I thought you were talking about Chase Wright, if you remember, gave the 4 homers in a row. And I don't think he ever made it to 13 innings. I don't think he ever pitched 13 innings for the Yankees. So that's why he didn't get the that award, I believe, of having the most home runs or most runs in a minimum innings.
No, I was talking about Brooks Christie.
But when you look back on so many of these games this year, the Yankees, there's no doubt in my mind, this team could easily have 10-plus wins. Undoubtedly 10-plus wins just on moves alone. I mean, look, you look at the last couple of days, the 2 Heaney games, and I'm not even talking about Heaney at the Field of Dreams game when he started, then he just leave him in to get smacked around. I don't get it. And then Krisky, you're talking about Romano the other day. These are moves that make no damn sense whatsoever. And I mentioned a tweet a couple of days ago that I put out there when it was basically asking the question of who do you blame for all these things. And the spoiler alert on my end was the things that I'm talking about is blamed on management. That is it. You can't blame. You can't go over the head here and say, well, I actually blame Cashman or I blame this one. I'm talking about on the field preparations. Who's the blame on that? And it's Aaron Boone, no doubt about it, because there's a lot of Aaron Boone apologizers out there who feel he has no hands-on whatsoever to make him anywhere near responsible for what's going on with this team. But I always push back on that and go, okay, that's fine. Let's say he's not making the moves. Who's then in charge of the preparation or sitting these guys down? I'll put it on a damn screen. Here's the Gary Sanchez play. If you're the manager, Ryan, is he still playing in the game after this?
If I'm the manager, Gary Sanchez got traded last season. At the end of 2020, I trade him, and it wouldn't have worked out because I would have signed Yadi Molina, which I think he's been hurt most of the year. So that wouldn't have worked out. We would have been getting a lot of Higashioka this year. But I trade Gary Sanchez last year. You benched him in the playoffs. He's got 2 years left. All he's going to do is cost you money, and you don't think he's any good. But you're going to have to pay him in arbitration because he was good in 2017.
Right. And Ryan, I got the play on the screen right now. You obviously know the Gary Sanchez play that I'm talking about. We talked about it a little bit before we went and started recording this. What's in his mind here?
I think I can get him out, but his cleats are going to be sharp. So let me see if I can tag him without scratching up my leg.
Oh, man. He's coming in. He was like he's coming in hot. I'm getting the hell out the way. My God. I've never seen anything like I've been asking people about this. Is this the worst catcher play of all time?
Well, I do have to say, in fairness, that Posada did not like blocking the plate either. But that was in the days where, and we were talking about this before the show, this was in the days when you can literally just run the catcher over.
Yes, exactly.
You could be out by for those of you not old enough to remember this, you could be out by 60 feet and decide to just run over the catcher and hope he drops it when you drop your shoulder into his face.
And Posada got a few of those.
Yes,
Posada got a few of those.
He was afraid. Gary's just lazy.
I like, somebody made a funny comment on, I think they were on SNY, I forgot who it was, but he said they call him El Kraken, they should call him El Matador. I was like, that's great. That's 100% right. I mean, he literally did the Matador move. Whoops, let me get out your way and stab you on the side there. But, I mean, all you needed to do there was a swipe tag.
Yeah.
That's kind of like he's playing second base. Swipe the tag and move on. Or get on your knees right there, move to the side, and put your glove in front of the plate.
I think Gary Sanchez is going to be back next year.
I do too.
I would say almost 0% he gets a contract when his contract is up.
Yeah, no way.
I think they're just like, okay, Wells is coming. Let's just keep Gary Sanchez out there, get the best we can out of him, and then Wells is our catcher once his contract is up.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be an interesting thing, and I actually have a lot of people who DM me and ask me about the catcher part. We also asked Eli Fishman about it. Everything I've been told about Austin Wells is that he's actually way behind in being a defensive catcher per his age. Not a good defensive catcher whatsoever. Bad.
Okay.
to the level of bad, is what we're told.
Okay.
And Eli even backed that up and said that, most people are actually shocked that he's been a catcher for so long and that he's still a catcher. But I even asked Eli that about any scouts he spoke to. Has anybody ever mentioned the fact that maybe he gets off that position? He said the Yankees will ride and die with him at catcher as long as possible because that's what they drafted him as, and they don't want to kind of deviate away from that because they feel that he has the ability to do it. He just needs more repetition and maybe professional guidance. But right now, I mean, if you're looking at the year following next, so 2023 potentially, Austin Wells could be up because the guy could hit. Austin Wells could flat out rake. Is he able to handle a pitching staff? I don't know. And the crazy thing is about when you look at the catcher market, there's some really good prospects out there that are closing in on being ready for their team. Is that something the Yankees look at, that maybe they move a guy like a Gleyber Torres for a young prospect or two?
Yes. I'm not waiting for you to finish your sentence.
And maybe that's something they do for a young catcher.
This offseason, move Gleyber.
I don't see. Look. I'm all for it. I'm on record of saying it. I think I would. I don't think he's not a shortstop. Everybody knows that by now. We know who's at second base. DJ LeMahieu, my opinion, not being a DJ LeMahieu fanboy here, I think DJ LeMahieu's been injured a whole year. That's why even you said you haven't seen him a lot at third base most of this year. He had the right tricep is the one that's bothering him. I think it's been a problem all year.
Because you would have just played Odor at second and LeMahieu at third.
It would only made sense.
Great third baseman.
So that's the giveaway right there. That obviously the tricep is still bothering him. He can't make that long throw. So you know who your second baseman is for the foreseeable future. You cannot keep this guy. And the other thing, too, that we haven't talked about a lot, and matter of fact, now that we're getting ready to start wrapping up the show in the next couple of minutes, but this is a good way to kind of close this one out, is that Gleyber's in a really bad spot for the Yankees right now. He hasn't played. He has Oswald Peraza in Double-A, who's hitting over 290, hit his 15th homer the other night, and everybody believes this guy's already major league hitting ability. Great speed. I think he's stolen 30-plus bags this year. Very good defense. They feel he could play third base also. And then you got Anthony Volpe, who's your number one prospect.
Yeah.
25-plus homers. Looks like he could be the next Derek Jeter for the Yankees. I know it's getting crazy, but he has that aura about him that he could be the next great Yankee shortstop. And then you have Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, Velasquez should be playing over Gleyber, and he's the third best prospect who should be playing over Gleyber.
Right.
That's why.
Correct.
That's why I say move on.
Yeah.
There's no reason to just keep paying him more and more money for the next, I think, 3 years.
Or risk that total value is lost. Because you can make the argument now that people would say, well, Pete, I mean, what value does he have? Well, he got years left. He at least has control remaining. And he's still not too far away from a year he had 30-something homers. So it's the same deal if you're going to trade Luke Voit, for an example. Luke Voit last year led the league in homers. He's still showing he's that guy. He just hasn't got the playing time. He got hot. He was back to being that guy. The Yankees don't know what the hell they're doing. So you still have that option. If you're going to trade him, I believe now is the time. And the offseason is going to be extremely fun. So you'll obviously be on roundtables with us and things like that. And we'll have a lot to talk about this offseason because if you ever just look at the Yankee roster, right, and you have fun looking at the Yankee roster and you look to make up moves out of your own mind, the Yankees have so many spots on their roster for people they have no reason to play. Yeah. Tons of them. I'm talking about tons of them. You got a lot of starters now, additional, with Luis Gil, Luis Medina, who may be better than all of them, Clark Schmidt, who may come up, pitch great, and may stay in the rotation for a while. A lot of people believe he is still their best pitching prospect. So you see him start tonight. But they got Miguel Andujar. They got Clint Frazier. They got Aaron Hicks. They got Domingo Germán. The list goes on and on of all these guys the Yankees have that may not have a position of players that need to be traded. It could be a very active offseason for the Yankees. And then, like even you said, your Sanchez, your Gleyber Torres, your Gio Urshela. You got to figure out what this team is. Gary Sheffield Jr. made a good point and said you might have almost a whole new infield next year.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, especially a left side or and catcher. So it's interesting.
And you've got Odor next year too.
Right. Well, you're not paying him a dime.
Yeah. Yeah. I would keep Gio. I would keep Herman because
Gio's becoming a hard keep for me. He's becoming a hard keep.
I think he's injured. I'd give him one more year. Hicks, I was done with last year.
Here's my thing. So I agree with you. I do. I agree with you. I think Gio Urshela, man, I mean, let's be real here. Last year, I was saying this guy's going to be the shortstop, the third baseman for years to come. He should be. My concern with him is the injuries. And the Yankees really can't force themselves into that situation again. Let's be honest. Gio hasn't been healthy since he was with the Indians. Yeah. Even when he was a utility guy, he was injured. So he's never been a healthy ball player for a long period of time. I don't have an issue if he's the third baseman next year. None at all. No issue whatsoever. And you also got to remember, there's an amazing class of shortstop free agents coming up. Some of these guys, very well, I guarantee you could play third base. You can also make your mind up then on, is a Oswald Peraza a third baseman? Do we stick to our guns? Do we say maybe we sign a Robbie Ray? Extend Aaron Judge and Rizzo? That's our offseason? Maybe a few trades here and there? Or do we go spend more money on this roster, get another guy for years and years to come, in one of the positions where, like you said, you have Urshela, you got Torres, or the Yankees think about it and they go, well, Volpe, maybe next year. You know, people keep saying 2023. Guys, if Volpe goes to Double-A and does what he did this year, he could be a midseason next year. I could see the Yankees pushing that button if they maybe go, well, Torres ain't cutting it. We're not going to keep this kid in Triple-A for no reason. Or Double-A, or Oswald Peraza next year starts in Triple-A and is hitting 290 again with 10-plus homers near the deadline. So there's just there's a lot of questions that need to be answered on the infield. And I just have this nightmare again, Ryan, that we see the same ball club, maybe a free agent signing, and Aaron Hicks is manning center field.
I was going to say, that's going to be your indication of our direction next year, is if on opening day Aaron Hicks is in center field. They're just like, just a coincidence that we've been bad the last 2 years.
Man, I have no confidence that he won't be. I have no confidence that he won't be.
Because Brian Cashman has said, we're not trying to win a championship. We're trying to win championships. And his model was the Spurs. Now, I know you're not a big basketball guy, but it turns out the secret to the Spurs' success is having Tim Duncan. Because he retired and they've been garbage for years now. The Patriots that actually have won multiple championships, obviously Brady's gone now, but they won and they were in it every year. The difference was Bill Belichick would go, okay, I was wrong about this guy. I drafted him in the first round. He stinks. I'm releasing him. I'm trading him. I'm cutting him. I don't just go, oh yeah, this guy stinks, but I'm going to play him for his entire rookie contract and sacrifice wins for our team to see if maybe I can be proven right. No, I made a mistake. I was wrong. He's not the guy.
That's a good point. That's Brian Cashman all the way. That's Brian Cashman all the way. He's the other guy. That's I'll keep playing him because I'm going to show you that I'm right.
Yeah. Stick by your guns. Well, you're wrong. It's okay. We don't hate you, but adjust.
Well, we would salute it, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we stand on our feet and clap if we say, oh, okay, Aaron Hicks is gone, Torres is potentially gone, Sanchez is gone? I don't think Yankee fans would sit back and go, oh, man, I mean, wow, this team sucks. What a stupid move. I think everybody would say, yeah, it makes sense.
You saw what Yankee fans really feel when Giancarlo was playing the outfield and got hot. They didn't go, oh, that's what he's supposed to do. They're like, this guy's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it turns out the big key is you have to play him.
Yep.
Not every day, but if you do the adjustments we've wanted, which is enough of Hicks, Brett Gardner retires, no more Clint Frazier, no more Miguel Andujar, Florial's your center fielder, Allen is your fourth outfielder. If I could trade Joey Gallo this offseason, I would. I know they won't. I would.
Right.
Having said that, Stanton, put him in the rotation. You don't have to play him every day, but play him enough where he doesn't feel like he's David Ortiz. He's not. He's on the cover of Men's Fitness. He's an outfielder. He can play.
I don't understand it. I really don't. That to me is a mystery, and I'm sure there's something leg-wise that is affecting him enough where he's concerned to be out there enough. I just wish we knew what it was, because nobody mentions that, but it's obvious when the guy runs. He's not that slow, folks. It's not him running his hardest and he's just that slow. He can't run. He just can't run. But I agree with you. I'm right there with you. Giancarlo Stanton's a different ball player when he's playing the outfield. You could tell. It's all there. And he said it. He said it before that he wants to play the outfield. It's not like he's shying away from it. He's saying, I want to play it. The Yankees, for whatever reason, whether it's injury, they feel like we just need your bat in the lineup. You make everybody else better. And we want to try to protect you as much as possible. But we all see it. We all know it. We all know, I think, what this team needs to do. The question is, do they do it? Like, for an example, I guess I could get to toot my own horn a little bit and said, I told you so about Robbie Ray, who's doing absolutely terrific. Is that something that you would look at? Let's say, for an example, right? You got, let's put it a little bit into perspective. We got our Luis Heels. We got Clark Schmidt. We got Luis Medina, who I think just had a 7-inning shutout, 7-inning, no runs, 9 strikeout performance, just dominating. He's finally got some sort of command. And the guy's not really hittable. He's that damn good. Who's in AA, probably start the year next year in AAA. AAA rotation might be better than the Major League rotation next year if they don't make much changes. But you look at that, and I don't think Robbie Ray is going to cost you $100+ million. I still don't. I don't think he's going to be this gigantic deal for any team to sign him. I don't think the Blue Jays are going to be shying away from signing him because they have money and they spend it. They do a pretty decent job recently looking to spend their money. Robbie Ray would be terrific in the Yankee rotation. And I think you could even look at it in a sense of you don't want to fall in the trap again, right? Of saying, we got Luis Severino next year.
I was waiting for you to stop talking because I was going to say, no more of this. I'm sure Severino will be back. No,
can't.
Stop it.
Can't do it.
You can't count on him every year. All right, he's pitching today in spring training, and then you turn on the game, and it's some guy you've never heard of, and they go, "Well, Severino hurt himself drinking out of a water fountain before the game. just a late game scratch, nothing to worry about." The next week, he's still not pitching. He needs Tommy John surgery. He's in a coma.
Yeah, I mean, 100% right. 100% right. You can't depend on them. We were talking about this the other day. Luis Severino has not pitched a long season since 2018. Folks, we're in 2021. We're about to hit 2022. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. Yeah, I know. Tommy John, I get it. I get that. He still hasn't pitched in 3 years.
And even in 2018, he was the best pitcher in baseball in the first half and garbage in the second half.
Terrible.
That was the beginning of the injuries.
That was the beginning of the injuries, right?
But you don't just go from the best pitcher in baseball to have an ERA over 6.
Over 6, yeah, for the whole second half almost. Most of the second part of the season. Yeah.
Did he forget how to pitch? No, he realized if I don't go out there, we're not making the playoffs.
Yep.
I have to keep pitching.
Yep.
Which is what's happening with, I believe, Gio Urshela and LeMahieu.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. I can see that.
As soon as we made those 2 deals, we rested them. And I think that's what's happening with Stanton. Is he's like, I got to keep at least being the DH because if I don't play, we're not going to make the playoffs because nobody else hits.
So I haven't obviously had a chance, and the fans haven't heard your opinion on this. So I'll ask you this, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. So this is the last question that I have for the both of us, and it's I don't really want it to be a yes or no, maybe just a how they do and how they won't. I guess you could say. That would make me
a really good broadcaster, wouldn't it? Yes. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, have a good time. Bye-bye. See you later. Are you confident? Let's just say it like this. Are you confident the Yankees make the postseason?
No. Why would I be? They just lost 7 in a row to garbage.
And right now, what are they? They're tied for the second spot.
Yeah.
With the Blue Jays, who are 15-2 in their last 17, 13-2,
and just swept us 4 games in New York.
I'm with you. I mean, I don't have really much else to add. I am not confident at all.
Tyon's on the IL. We don't know if Cole's going to be okay.
Kluber, you can't count on.
Kluber's not ready.
No, you could tell. He's doing the same thing that he did early in the year. It's going to take him a few starts. Then you might see the command come back because his command's not there again. That's exactly what it is. If Kluber doesn't have command, he's going to have 4-inning performances where he gives up 4 or 5 runs.
That's
Simple
the
as
frustrating part about him coming back is if you were following his rehab starts, you're like, he's getting shelled. Why are we bringing him back?
I wouldn't have brought him back that quick. I would have let him. I don't even know if he had the 3 full starts. I don't think he had 3 full starts. I think he had 2.
None of them were good.
None of them were good. Whatever it was, none of it was good.
He was giving up at least a run an inning, and that's in the minor leagues.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see all what the Yankees are doing now. I am not confident at all. And I know we'll say that, Boone may not be making calls or this and that. I'm not confident with this guy at the helm. I don't think he motivates anybody. I think he's one of the most lackadaisical managers I've ever seen. I'm not confident with him being able to rile these guys up enough to go on this run. You hear him talk. Are you concerned about your team making the play? No. And you sit there and look like, oh, okay, Aaron. Okay, Aaron. Yeah. All right. Right. Because we're watching different games. We're watching a different team play than what your team's doing on the field.
I always look at the scoreboard, but I'm not cheering for one team or the other. Well, you should, because the Orioles aren't making the playoffs.
I mean, just
they're playing a team that's directly in contact
with your club.
Playoffs. You should be cheering for the Orioles. The Orioles aren't going to come back.
Right, they're going nowhere. The Orioles can't win 70 games in a row and finish it off. So what do we got? 19 games left? 17?
Something like that. It's the first weekend of October is the end.
Let's see real quick, just to see for the hell of it. And the Yankees right now, obviously we're at the coming to midpoint here of September. So they have left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 games left. And I tell you what, if this Yankee team doesn't make it, I feel bad for him. Let me tell you why. And you probably noticed already. They play the Mets tonight. Tomorrow they play the Twins. They play 3 against the Orioles, 3 against the Indians, who get no hit almost every other night, 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the Red Sox, and then these get tough. If the Yankees are going to make the wild card, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It'll be because of the next 11 games. Mm-hmm. Because their last 9 are against the Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays.
I'm to the point where, and this might upset some Yankee fans, but hear me out here. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. We had a coach named Jason Garrett. Now, Jason Garrett sucked, but he was Jerry Jones's puppet. I want my Cowboys to win. However, if suddenly the Cowboys lose, Jason Garrett's going to get fired, and I won't have to suffer through his horrible coaching anymore.
Yep, I know what you're saying.
That's how I feel about Boone and Cashman, to be honest. I have no faith they're going to show up in the playoffs and all of a sudden be good. I don't know if Taillon's coming back. I don't know if Kluber's going to be any good. I don't know if Garrett Cole is really healthy. I don't think Severino's coming back ever, honestly. Do you? I don't.
I have no like I said, he's a guy I look at. He's not in my if I'm planning my offseason, he's not in my 5-man rotation. I'm planning without him, and then whatever the hell happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's no way he's in my plan.
That no matter how many injuries there are, that there's not going to be some ridiculous reason that Luis Heel and Clark Schmidt aren't pitching and Andrew Heaney is in some playoff game. Why would I? Why would I trust that they're not going to do something that stupid?
No, they've done it all year.
Great cap in a playoff game last year.
Yeah. Well, Gary Sheffield Jr. got some hate for that because he put a tweet out and he said exactly that, exactly what you just said. He said, at this point, why would I want this team to have a 1-game playoff? And then their excuse is to us, oh, we're just a piece or 2 away. And we all know that's not the case.
We're a play away, not a player away.
Right. No, come on. I mean, we all understand the philosophy that Brian Cashman has put to this club has not worked. It does not work. It's not working for this team. Whatever it may be, it is not working.
For all the people on the fence about that philosophy of just like, oh, it's bad luck if we lose the wild card playoff game. If we win the East instead of playing in the wild card playoff game, it means in a division series, Garrett Cole makes 2 starts instead of 1.
Correct.
So if you're even in the wild card game, you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Means you need to improve.
And if you think about it, I mean, hell, we could think about this right now. What the hell is your playoff roster? Because first of all, like you just said, let's say the Yankees get the wild card. Let's say they win. Cole pitches the wild card game, of course.
Exactly.
Cortez is your opening day starter?
I guess.
I would have to be, right?
Has to be.
He got to be your game one starter. Cortez, Kluber, or Monty, Cortez, Kluber, Cole. I mean, it's.
I mean, we know it should be Luis Heel, but do we have any faith they're going to do that?
No, not at all. Luis Hill wouldn't even be mentioned as a starter.
Exactly. He wouldn't even be on the roster.
And let's say Clark Schmidt pitches good today to give him a couple more starts. If he pitched good, they wouldn't even pitch him.
No.
Because they will go with the guys who they feel have been there. So they'll go with your Cortez, who by all means has been absolutely awesome. You talk about a godsend.
We've forgotten about him, but he should be pitching.
I mentioned this to Yankee fans for next year. You know, I've had a lot of Yankee fans tell me they would have rather start Luis Severino over Cortez in the rotation next year.
Well, he's not coming, so yeah.
And that's my thing too. I'm like, the guy hasn't pitched since 18.
Fernandez. I'd rather have Jose Fernandez. They're just as likely as showing up as Luis Severino.
By the way, too.
I'd rather have the ghost of Whitey Ford. He's not coming.
Yeah, they're not. You got to see it to believe it. It's one of those things now with him, right? You can't sit there and believe, oh, he's in the best. I love that. They always do that stupid shit, right? He's in the best shape of his life. He's this and that. He's that and this. Can you get on the damn field? Yeah. Can you play a game of baseball?
Okay, well, for starters, he can't possibly be in the best shape of his life because there was a point in his life where he pitched once every 5 days.
Right.
And the last game he pitched in was in 2019.
So yeah. So if he's physically that great, where is he at?
I don't care how he looks in a Speedo. I need him to pitch.
Exactly. So, you know, we can obviously just wrap the show up with that. Obviously how we feel, where the Yankees are, and you know, even if, like you said, you know, they made a wild card spot, what that even looks like. And if we're even confident enough in them beating the Red Sox, let's say at Fenway, or the Jays, I don't know however it could look. I don't know where a Yankee fan can pull that confidence from. Because we're not watching some club that we haven't seen all year.
By the way, let's Jose Fernandez may have had the most obvious cocaine-related death in the history of humanity.
Right.
He got in a boat accident from driving too fast. I mean, there wasn't a dolphin that ran a red light. There's only one possible explanation.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't think it's obviously tragic, but you're not in your right mind in that moment.
Exactly.
That's obvious. It's obvious you're not in your right mind. And it sucks, too, because I think he would have been a Yankee.
I know. Well, Stanton said that.
That was the plan, right?
There's talk that if it didn't work out in Miami, that they would both go to New York together.
Wow. What could have been.
I know.
But we know we got Luis Severino, so he makes up for the void.
Yeah, he'll be there next year.
Yeah, next year, the year after that, maybe 2024 he'll pitch. Man, Brian Cashman has not had a great history here with extensions.
Luis Severino is Ben Vereen in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Abandoning Will every time, getting his hopes up.
Every time they gets close. It's exciting, and then he disappears again.
Man.
Who would Uncle Phil be then? In that situation, who is Uncle Phil? You're not going to go there?
Nope.
All right, we'll move on.
I don't know if you've heard allegations about James Avery's personal life.
I don't believe so, no.
They're very similar to Luther Vandross.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not only that.
Why did I think you're going to say Domingo Herman for some reason? Or Starlin Castro, our good friend. He also beat up...
Yeah.
So...
What did you say to me?
This is like an A&E reenactment. It has on the bottom of the screen, not the actual actors. These are actors.
You've got some splaining to do. Na, 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 na. Starlin Castro being written in cursive. Oh, what was I gonna say?
Oh man.
You know who else? James Avery, and also Reginald Vell Johnson, Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow, yeah. Same thing.
Same allegations.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's why you read comments on DJ Vlad videos. That's how you find out what's really going on.
That's exactly it. That tells you everything you need to know.
Because Eddie Winslow was on a DJ Vlad video. Like, hey, was Carl gay? And rather than just being like, oh, no. You always know the answer is yes. If they're like, I don't care about the man. The artist. Okay, I'm going to check yes. Thank you.
Did you just go full Peter Rosenberg there? I think we're getting all your impressions.
Yeah, that's basically all of my impressions.
How does Peter Rosenberg? How do you think he talks about Aaron Boone?
Oh, Aaron Boone know what's up, yo. He got some brothers from the hood living in his house. He done Mr. Drummond they asses. He's saving them.
Why can I actually hear Peter Rosenberg saying that? I can hear it. I can actually hear him saying that.
I haven't heard Peter Rosenberg say one thing since Craig Carton got out of prison. How the president of ESPN New York either got fired or resigned or whatever. Shouldn't the press release just say his number one feat was not offering Craig Carton any money and then getting crushed in the ratings.
Getting absolutely demolished in the ratings. 100%. 100%.
There was a day where Carton and Roberts were off, and I'm like, oh, I want to hear Yankee talk. This is when we were still winning. I'm like, let me listen to the K show. I may have made it 10 minutes.
Right.
Who is this for? This is awful. It's so boring. They have sound effects and they don't even make any sense.
No, it's everybody always tells me all the time, Pete, you should call the Michael K show and listen to it. I don't like listening to it, to be honest.
It stinks.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I've tried a couple of times and I'm like, I can't. I mean, Michael K is I don't know how to explain him. It's like he's bipolar. Or it's like he knows, he's like, should I say this or should I not? Should I go by what I feel or should I keep my yes job?
Well, that's the thing of being on ESPN now is you can't have 100% authentic opinions, which makes your show garbage.
Right. Exactly.
Even though we all knew I was joking, can you imagine an ESPN radio host doing the Ohtani joke I did earlier?
Oh, never. They'll be fired immediately.
No, everyone knows I was mocking the racist broad, which I'm not saying he's racist, but like the idea that he said something that would clearly be offensive in 2021,
right.
That I went way over the top. That's not really what happened. But if you did that on ESPN, they'd drag you out to do your hostage exchange video where you apologize and say, I've come from I must learn from this experience and better myself. And then when you're done, the guillotine still comes down and slices your head off.
Or they'll have, like what Francis said, they'll have Jeff Passan come on and lecture you about being a good person.
Oh,
like they did with Stephen A. Smith. Remember that? They literally had Jeff Passan come on to defend Ohtani and lecture him about what you do and don't do.
I didn't see this really.
Yeah, yes, that's true. They had Jeff Passan come on, a baseball reporter, coming to speak to it. Look, some people may not like Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith has made a career of being who he is and making a lot of money doing it. A lot of money doing it. Jeff Passan is not Stephen A. Smith.
Jeff Passan knows more about racism than Stephen A. Smith?
Apparently so, yes. And he had to teach him why it was wrong. Because then I think Stephen A. Smith, remember that time when he made the comment about the translator? And that's why he doesn't believe that he could be the face of baseball? Because maybe not everybody could relate to him?
It's true.
It is true. It is true.
I mean, I watch all the Yankees. I mean, when we're winning, I'm not watching them now. But like, if you watch all the Yankee postgame interviews, you go, oh yeah, Gary Sanchez doesn't speak English. I'm not watching that one. Because it's exhausting to listen to.
Well, yeah, and we talked about that. Me and Francis talked about that. We understand where Stephen A. Smith was coming from. I think it was pretty obvious. It's just that people obviously also want to be offended. They want to find something where they could go on Twitter and be this hero and say, how dare he say that a translator is not making him the face of baseball? That can't be. Well, most of the country doesn't understand him. Most of the country can't get his actual personality out of a translator. That's what he meant, obviously.
Gleyber Torres, and we all make fun of his voice, learned to speak English his rookie year because he understood that's going to make me a better star.
Estevan Florial speaks about 4 languages, including English, extremely well.
He's the new Didi.
He's the new Didi.
Only, good at baseball.
Yeah, I think he could be much better than Didi, definitely. I think he will be very good. I said that for a while. I think I was about to say Luis Severino, my God. I think Estevan Florial is going to be very good. I think he's going to floor somewhere. Hopefully, he's with the Yankees. You would think with center field potentially being open in the offseason, I don't think Gardner gets the starting job. He might end up there, but I don't think he gets the starting job because they like to do that surprise to us. Aaron Hicks, I don't know. Florial, maybe. I don't know if it's ever time to just be like, he's our guy. Or Ketel Marte.
Let's just say the Yankees, Joey Gallo's still on the team. This is what should happen this offseason. Aaron Hicks needs to be dealt. Estevan Florial needs to be in center field. And Greg Allen is your 4th outfielder.
And Gardner is gone.
Gardner is retired.
It'll be interesting to see what decision Gardner makes on that on the retirement side. If he decides to call it quits. Because he has the option? Don't they have an option for him, a club option?
I believe so. Well, the whole idea was he stunk in 2020, and there were no fans in the stands, so he wanted his family to see him play one more year before
and they've seen more than enough.
That was the agreement. We will bring you back for 1 year. We'll get rid of Mike Tauchman, who's better than you, and we will let you play. I know Mike Tauchman got DFA'd in San Francisco, but Tauchman would have
he's been really bad.
Yankees.
He's been really bad.
Yeah, of course. But I believe Tauchman would have been okay if he stayed on the Yankees because he would have been surrounded by players. Exactly.
Right.
We signed you for 1 more year so you could play in front of your family. Okay. 1 year. Now get out of our way. You should have been DFA'd this year.
Yep.
Allen and Florial both played significantly better than you.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
We let you play to be nice. Now leave us alone, please. We don't want any trouble.
We don't want any trouble.
Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home?
We'll come up with some sort of rumor. It's very easy nowadays, Brett. Go home.
I'm putting cases on all you gardeners.
Oh, man.
Frazier ain't got nothing on me. You think you can do this to me? You'll be playing baseball in Pelican Bay.
Pelican Bay.
23-hour lockdown, word I can't say.
The California Penal League. That's where it's at. The California Penal League. Probably get somebody better than Heaney over there. Well, with that being said, we got Clark Schmidt tonight. 8 o'clock game against the New York Mets. I will definitely be tuned into that one, no doubt about it. Probably providing highlights throughout the day on Twitter. But you guys are going to see this show. Actually, right now, we're filming on Sunday, so in about 2 hours, it'll premiere on YouTube. But other than that, Ryan, I have nothing else. I am done. It's going to be another wonderful day in Yankee land. We'll see how we finish the season. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Oh, you got it. Last time I was on, people were commenting that I seemed tired. And boy, if only you knew what was happening behind the scenes. I had a whirlwind day on the post All-Star game, whatever that show was I was on, where it was 4 people.
Yes, the round table.
Yes, let's just say my Facebook relationship status had changed a few hours before the show began.
Ryan has had his ups and downs. He's had his ups and downs recently.
It's been nothing but up since then.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better.
You'll notice I'm back in my apartment.
Good.
Back in the living area.
Do you have all your stuff?
Not hiding in my bedroom doing the show on my iPhone.
You got all your stuff?
I did.
Good.
That's all that matters. Getting all my stuff on a U-Haul felt very much like Andy Dufresne climbing out of the sewage pipe into the pond.
It was like Ryan landing on the moon. He's like, I did it. I did it. That's exactly what it was, folks. So, hey, sometimes.
I'm through 6 months of miserable relationship.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes getting out of something is better than getting into something.
Nagging I can't bear to imagine. Or maybe I just don't want to.
With that being said, folks, see you next time. And I'll do Francis' outro. The next episode is always the best episode. So that's for Francis. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the show. Follow Ryan. You see it at Ryan Beck Music. And, of course, me, as much as you guys can. I greatly appreciate it. Got some big things coming your guys' way. We'll talk about that very soon. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Tell me what you want.